Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all going to be about the backswing. I'm going to give you 2 simple steps to really nail your backswing to help improve the consistency of your downswing and therefore impact. Stay tuned to find out more. As mentioned, today's video is all going to be about the backswing. So a great coach who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, John Jacobs, always used to say that if you're trying to fix something in the downswing, you've missed something in the backswing. And what he meant by that, of course, was often it is what happens here at setup and in the backswing that causes the fault on the downswing and therefore into impact. So if we can get into this right position, often referred to as the slot, the right position at the top of the backswing here, it will make it easier to sequence the downswing. Now, I realise when you watch the tour players, you will see a variety of different positions at the top, and what they do very well is they compensate, they change direction, they move pattern, their wrist changes from this way to this way, and we can do that absolutely. What I'm talking about within this video is trying to make a simpler backswing where we actually need less manipulation, less change of direction, less movement in there. So I'm going to try and give you, and this would be relevant with any golf club. I'm going to demonstrate just with a mid-iron here, but this would be, as I said, relevant with any golf club. I'm going to give you the stages of the backswing, a 2-part backswing drill that I want you to really take away, work on the driving range or the practice area to improve your backswing position and therefore improve your consistency of strike in your downswing as well. So often the faults that I tend to see really with the backswing, some of it occurs very, very early on in this takeaway move. So I often see the club working way too far inside, or the player's arms get disconnected away from the body. So the first part 1 of the backswing is really this takeaway move. So what we would actually do in this drill is stop at the takeaway, then we would go back from there. And what I'm looking for as a checkpoint within that takeaway is my lead arm, so my left arm, just moving across my chest. That doesn't mean it's tense, it just means it's working across my chest, so my hands are working on a slightly inward path. They should be working slightly inwards as the club and my arms move away from the target. So we're working on an arc here. So I want my left arm, my lead arm connected across my chest, but you will see that the club is more outside my hands and the club face matches my spine angle because I haven't overused forearm rotation or wrist hinge here in that takeaway movement. So what I'm looking for is this first movement away from the ball. For me, that's a big key fundamental. If we get that correct, it's much easier from there. So the second stage, and often I work on someone's takeaway and they say to me, that feels great, I can get that, I can understand that, but what the hell do I do from there? So the movement from after this takeaway movement where the left arm, the lead arm is working across your chest and very little wrist action is quite a simple one. So from this first parallel position that I'm in here, I would just simply get my lead shoulder moving down, coiling underneath my chin. So I'm looking for this takeaway move and then my lead shoulder to start coiling downwards underneath my chin. So as my lead shoulder moves down, my trail shoulder moves up and my hands will start to move upwards, but I'll be able to achieve the right swing plane at the top of the backswing. Okay, so what I like to see is that my lead arm is almost dissecting my trail shoulder. So for me as a right-handed golfer, I'd like to see my left arm through my right shoulder at the top of the backswing. So that was my takeaway move, left arm's connected, no real wrist action. From there, my lead shoulder's moved underneath my chin. And what I like to see is my lead arm through my trail shoulder, a pretty flat left wrist, the club face position matching more my left wrist. And from there, we'd be in quite a neutral, we'd class it as a neutral position. And it makes it easier then on the downswing to get into the right position. Now, again, there are elite golfers in very different positions, some with the club over here, some with the club over here, and they will change direction very well. But we're talking about making a simpler backswing here. This is the idea with this video. So it's going to be a 2-part drill. We're going to do the takeaway move, lead arm connected, very little wrist action, so the club is outside my hands. From there, it's simply my lead shoulder to move down underneath my chin to the top of the backswing position, and I'm in a very neutral position where I can just unwind what I did really in the backswing. I'm going to go ahead and hit a couple, maybe just plonk them off a small T-peg. Start with a mid-iron, build yourself up. We're going to do it as two parts. I'm going to stop at the takeaway, and then I'm going to turn and hit it from there. So takeaway position, lead arm across my chest, very little wrist action. From there, my my lead shoulder moving down underneath my chin. Let me do that. So it's a two-part exercise. We're going to stop at the takeaway, and from there we're just going to simply feel that lead shoulder move down underneath my chin to achieve the right position with my arms and my wrist at the top of the backswing. Let me do it again. Once you've done enough of these, you can just do it slow backswing, stop at the top, so we don't stop at the takeaway, we just go all the way to the top and stop, and then hit, and then we can actually carry on and just do slow pace without stopping anywhere in the swing, and then we can build up that pace again. So we're doing, it is almost a part first before we actually start trying to do the whole movement. So we're going to go that takeaway move. I'm going to do one more, just like I did on the last. Part one. Part two is this lead shoulder under. And then we can start to build a very, very simple, very neutral, if you like, backswing position where I'm getting my lead arm through my trail shoulder, my left wrist, my lead wrist pretty flat, and the club face position responding, matching to that. It's a very neutral position that we're really looking for. We're not seeing the club too cross-lined or the elbows working out away from the body. I firmly believe if you can get this takeaway bit right from there, the second stage would just be this lead shoulder moving downwards underneath my chin. They're the two parts I tend to see get wrong in the golf swing. Often we see these arms working away from the body or the club in, and often then an upward movement where this lead shoulder really hasn't worked underneath the chin enough. So if you can get those two parts, I know you're going to start nailing your backswing, and that is going to help your consistency of downswing and therefore strike. If you did enjoy the content video, if that drill does help, make sure you give us a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel for all the other content, at least 2 videos a week, instructional videos. It's great to get your feedback, any videos you'd like me to film and you guys to see at home. Make sure you comment below or get in touch on social media. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.